Let me ask you something. If you keep hesitating every time you take a trade, is it really the market that you don't trust or is it yourself? Because we had to learn that a lot of beginner traders are blowing opportunities, not because the setup is wrong, but because they don't trust their own decision. My name is Chrissy,
And I'm George.
and welcome to Married to the Markets. And today we're going to be talking about learning to trust yourself as a trader. Years ago, when I first started, I would sit at the computer screen and look at it for like 10 minutes, and the trade would literally pass me.
Yeah,
I was supposed to get in. But I was so nervous. Can you guys relate?
yeah, I remember you used to do that a lot. Even with me, right?
Yeah.
I used to do that. It's like you don't trust yourself when it
Yeah,
comes to the trading part. And it gets to a point where you're gonna have to trust yourself.
you will.
You hesitate, like, should I get in? But after a while, you realize that, not every time you're gonna be right on a trade, but the times that you could have been right, you missed out.
And that's the part that no one is telling you about. When you first get started, there's going to be times where you're going to be afraid. If you're like that, I'm going to let you guys know the market is going to eat you alive.
Yeah.
It's going to take your money, chop you up, and spit you out. You really got to have confidence when you're trading. It's so important for us to have these type of discussions because there's a lot of new beginners watching this channel. Welcome. It's really going to expose who you are, your insecurities. It's going to expose your self-doubt. It's really going to let you know about you when you first get started.
And that's why sometimes it's important to paper trade. A lot of people see all the flashy stuff and want to experience that right away. If you have self doubt, if you're not completely sure about your setup and how to take trades, maybe you need to paper trade first and build that confidence and trust in yourself. Once you do that, you start taking the trades because you're seeing them. You already paper traded. So now it's time to trust yourself enough to say, all right, I went through the process. Now it's time to actually take these trades and not be afraid.
Exactly. So let's talk about why you guys may not trust yourselves. One of the things is that you think everything needs to be set up perfectly. It needs to be aligned, right? It needs to be perfect for you to actually take that opportunity. And that's not necessarily the case. You have to know where your entry, stop loss, your take profit, and things of that nature is. And if you don't, you're going to miss that opportunity. Not everything is always going to be aligned, but if it shows itself, get into the trade, right? Sometimes we're just out of fear.
Yeah, when you're talking about new traders, they'll have 10 indicators.
Yeah.
Now you're waiting on confirmation. 3 indicators might give you that confirmation, but you're waiting on the other 4. Most of the times, it will never line up where all your indicators line up at the same time. By
Yeah.
that time, the trade is already gone. It's too late. So you have to remember indicators are lagging too. So
Mhm.
you have to decide and look and back test instead of saying, oh, I'm away for confirmation on this. If you see the trade, if you know certain setups, once it break that level, you need to get in that trade. You know where your stop loss is, you know where your take profit is, and then you just go ahead. But a lot of times the trust issue comes in, the trust factor comes in
Yeah.
because they might have did it before and they lost on the trade. So what if you lose,
Yeah.
right? So what if you lose? You're gonna lose. Not every time your setup presents itself, it's gonna be profitable. It might be profitable 8 out of 10 times. The thing is, if that risk management is involved and you properly trade with risk management, you're always gonna be profitable.
Self doubt is more of an internal thing. You start to compare yourself, and that's the thief of joy because you're going to think that everybody else knows more than you. But if you put in the time, you put in the work, right? It's one thing if you have, this is your first time ever trading. I'm going to tell you to get a mentor because it helps you skip a lot of steps that are unnecessary, right? Instead of giving your money back to the market. But you think everybody knows more than you. And that's not necessarily the same. Some people are probably starting in the same position, but you just have to start with where you are, right? You just have to say, you know what? I'm good at this. I can read charts. Sometimes we have mentees that come in and they think, well, other people in the group know. No, you know the same thing.
Yeah.
You guys are all taught the
Yeah.
same way. So do not have self-doubt. Believe in yourself. When people start talking, I'm very motivational. I like to inspire people to give their all, no matter what. So when people start speaking that, I'm like, no, no, no. We're not doing that around here
Nah,
because you
not
need to
around here.
believe in yourself. That's the only way for you to become a profitable trader, a successful trader, especially for those that want to do this long term. There's some people that just want to dibble dabble, but there's people who are like, no, I really want to change my life
Yeah.
by doing this full time.
And it's all about, some of them are scared of being wrong.
Yeah.
When you're trading, you're scared of being wrong.
Mhm.
And being wrong means that you're gonna lose, and you're gonna
Yeah.
lose money, hard-earned money.
Let me let you know, you will lose on some trades. I don't
Yeah.
care how perfect the setup is, you will lose on some trades.
And the thing is, when you're wrong, it's okay to be wrong. Just know that, did you take the trade based on your setup? If you took the trade based on your setup, then okay. Don't beat yourself up. You took it based on your setup. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. Next trade. One of the books that I've listened to over and over that talks about it is trading in the zone.
Yeah.
And it talks about taking 20 trades, and every single trade that you take, make sure you go in
On
and
your setup.
on your setup, the same lot size, and just back test that and see how that works out
Not
for you,
lot size for us, but, sometimes
right?
people watch
Yeah.
Forex and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
lot size or the amount that you're going in, whether it's the contracts, the amount that you're putting in a trade, or
Mm.
you're trading with 5 grand per trade, always trade with that and see how the trade turns out. You don't have to use your money up front. Paper trade at first, see that setup, know that it works for you, and see if
Mm.
you become profitable at the end of the day, the week, the month, and then run with it.
And a lot of that comes with confidence, right? Building up confidence in yourself. I think what you do outside of trading really reflects on who you become in trading. Wow. We wanted to take a quick break and say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Did you know that 80% of the people that are watching this video are not subscribed? And you might be one of those people just as well. And if you are, do us a favor and click that subscribe button and join us on this journey. Watching this video, that means you might be interested in options trading. I'm not sure if this is for you, but I wanted to let you know that George and I have a 6-week mentorship called Married to the Market. We'll be teaching you everything about options trading and holding your hand throughout this process. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, make sure you pause this video and check the description because we're going to be putting all the information that you need and to see if you're qualified for this. So if this is something that you want, we would love to have you guys in the Married to the Market family. So guys, let's go ahead and jump back into the video. I always tell people to start off the right way. I have some friends that just started trading as well. And one of the advice that I gave them was work on yourself, work out, because it just gives you this sense of confidence.
Yep.
Once you start looking good, feeling good, everything starts to flow. Drink your water, read, educate yourself. Simple things as making up your bed in the morning. It's the routine. Trading is boring. It's the same thing over and over, but boring is good. Making up your bed every morning is good. Doing the same thing over and over to build that consistency. A lot of people have low self-esteem, right? So they bring that over into trade,
It will
right? In
reflect in
regards
trade.
with inconfidence.
It will always reflect in trade. If you feel a certain way, if you're not confident in yourself, how you execute certain, it's gonna show up in trade.
Yeah.
So it's just a little stuff that people need to work on. And that could be simplest thing as making your bed up in the morning.
Yeah.
First thing, as soon as you wake up, make your bed up. Imagine walking in your room, the bed is made. It's a whole
It's the
different
simple
feeling,
things.
right? Than when you walk into a room and your bed is just completely a mess. Going for exercise, it does not mean that you have to get a gym membership. It could just
Yeah.
mean going for a walk in nature, just for a little bit. Get your mind right. You get what I'm saying? So those things help when you're talking about trading.
And another thing, it's not always about trading books you got to go run and get, right? Atomic Habits. Get a book like that. Start to build little habits every single day. The best thing I can tell anyone, because George and I have done it, we talked about it many times on this podcast, is try 75 hard. That is the best confidence building. It's
Yeah.
the best transformation you'll ever have in your life, and it's going to spill over into your trading in a good way. So I highly suggest that book, right? Atomic Habits. And I highly suggest working on all aspects because it's all going to spill over. Like I said, you have to trust yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to start getting into trades without feeling shaky. Once you start building up that confidence, you're going to get in the trade and be like, oh, that's my setup. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's take it. I know where my stop loss is. I know where my take profit is. You learn your platform because that's going to help you become a little bit more confident. You're not confident because you don't know your platform. You're like, oh my gosh, where do I go? What do I do? How do I sell? You're not ready. If you can't get in and get out of a trade, you are not ready yet.
Yeah, crazy story time, right? I have a new mentor that came in.
A mentee?
Mentee came in, right? 4 days in. 4 days in. Not supposed to be taking any trades, but 4 days in, excited about the whole process. He took a trade based on our callouts in the VIP. He didn't know how to close a trade
And bought more.
and bought more. Yeah, bought more. So the thing is, good enough that the trade went in our direction, how it's supposed to turn out, and he was profitable. But the thing is, don't go ahead and force trades when you don't understand the concept of trading to begin with. If you don't know how to execute the trade, how to close the trade out, just wait. Be patient. It's not going anywhere,
Yeah.
right? There's always a setup. Every single day, an opportunity will present itself. And guess what? If the opportunity don't present itself that day, there's tomorrow, the next day, the next week, the next month.
Mhm.
You have to be patient, right? This is not something that you're going to say, oh, you're going to end up getting to millions right away. No, this is a marathon. This is something that takes time, work, and effort. Once you're locked into the
Yeah.
process, you will see the results, but don't feel like this is an overnight thing. You need to jump in and be quick and start. No, it's a process, and you have to learn that process so you don't end up losing money.
Sometimes we're a little hard as coaches, but I ain't gonna lie, I was low key proud. 4 days in, I'm like, no, you can't do that. But 4 days in, I was hella proud though. Like you at
Yeah.
least attempted. So I
Yeah.
was kind of proud about that, low
I,
key.
I, I, I was, I was, because I'm like,
But I can't allow people to just go out here and just recklessly throwing your real money around and you're not
yeah,
sure.
and he wasn't even
But
paper
I
trail.
would know it was real money.
So the thing with trading is trusting yourself. And I guess he trusted in us. So he took the trade. One of the things we teach inside the mentorship is that patience is everything. Wait for your setup, but also trust in the process when you're going through your trading journey. And that looks like, okay, number one, you know your setups. Number
Yep.
two, you know where to take profit, where the stop loss is, but also learn the platform that you're using. It's a different thing when we say, all right, we're getting into calls, but you buy puts. Now you're hoping,
Or you're buying shares
are you buying
and
shares?
not
Now you're
options.
hoping and praying that, it come back to break even or something. And you don't want to cut the trade because you want it to come to where you might be able to make a little bit of profit. You have to realize that when you're trusting yourself in this journey, it takes a lot to know the process as far
Yep.
as trading, the strategy, but also different things that come in mind, mindset. You have to create routines, right? And good routines, good habits that you could
I was
build on.
just gonna say that, and that's how my confidence really boosted. That's what changed the game for me. Sometimes you need to set a plan for yourself. Repetition is everything. Keep doing the same thing over and over. I don't care how boring it is. Having a routine, being able to journal, these are things that truly helped me throughout my journey. And honestly, just giving myself grace to learn over the years. Regardless, I don't care if it's 8 years, if it's 10 years trading. Every day is different in the markets, and you really need to give yourself grace. When you learn to give yourself grace, it's like a healing process. It's
Yeah.
like going
The
through
quicker you
therapy.
give yourself
Yeah.
grace, the further you will go.
Yes.
Now you'll start seeing improvement. The quicker you start giving yourself grace. A lot of people on our social media platforms, people will come in and they'll see our son, which is only 8, you know, talking about trading. And they're saying, man, I don't
Yeah.
know that, or I can't learn that. You have to give yourself grace to say, listen, give myself the opportunity to learn. We're all human beings. We know how to adapt if we tell ourselves we want to. So all you have to do is give yourself grace.
Yeah. And then, like he said, just trusting in yourself, right? Just trusting your setups, not your emotions. That's the biggest thing. You have to let your emotions step aside. This game is very, very emotional, and that will tear you to pieces, right? So, knowing your plan before you even start
I always say, plan your trade.
and trade your plan.
There you go.
That's his line.
Plan your trade and trade your plan. When you're going into the day, it shouldn't be where you're flustered. It shouldn't be where, okay, 5 minutes before the market, I'm looking for a trade. It shouldn't
No,
be like that. You should already know what your setups are, what you're looking for.
before.
Yeah. So now you already plan your trade, and now it's time to execute when that trade show up.
Exactly. And just accept your losses without spiraling. One thing my husband taught me over the years is do not let your P&L affect your day, right? Or your week or anything like that, because there are going to have times where you do get in a trade and it may not go in your direction right away, but it usually does eventually. But don't let that affect you. You got to stop spiraling. If you're spiraling over every single trade, it's going to hurt you,
Yeah.
right? You really got to capture your emotions. You really got to work on yourself when it comes to that. And making decisions based on rules. Like if you're going to do something, why are you doing it?
Why you're doing it? Why did you get in the trade? And that all comes down to journaling
Correct.
as
And
well.
that's what we do when we have our study session. with our mentees, it's like, why did you do this? What was this? Why? With our 6-month mentees, not our 6 week, they get a little bit more. I love the fact that when we sit down with them, you're like, okay, so why did you take that trade?
Yeah.
What did you see? What's going on? People need to be able to express why and be corrected just as well. Within 3 weeks of them getting started, what did they make? Roughly like
12 grand.
12 grand,
Like,
right?
yeah.
And that's to show you that you know what you're doing. It's
Yeah.
just the confidence.
And we encourage them to do trades on their own, right?
Yes,
Because when you're doing trades on your own, now we can come in and say, all right,
it's reinforcing.
why did you do the trade?
Yeah,
So now you have to explain why you did the trade. It's like journaling, which we always recommend when you take a trade because your setup could be completely right. You see the trade, you're excited about the trade, you get in the trade, and then it go against you. And it's okay that it go against you. But when you go back and you look at your trade in journal, you can't be mad because it was the setup. I took the trade, but it hit my stop
yeah.
loss. I get out the trade. And I love the fact that with them, they're executing on their own. They're following the setups, and then you can see the results. But that all comes with time. That comes with giving yourself grace. That all comes with trusting in the process and know that, hey, you know what? I see what I've learned. I see my setup. I see the levels, and let me go ahead and execute based on that.
And you don't have to day trade. They're
No.
swing traders. They're high net worth individuals. They have demanding jobs. They cannot sit at a computer for hours. They have clients, they have things going on. So when their phone pings, they already have it in there. So they just go in, put it in. They have their stop loss, they have where their take profit in, and they go about their day. And they'll come in and, just check a couple every day or whatnot. So they have a routine for busy traders. If you guys don't have that guide, we have a guide. You can click on the link in the description and grab one. It's for busy traders, just something quick for you to just kind of have a mindset so you can see that you don't have to be a day trader. When you come into this, you need to decide, do you want to be a day trader or do you want to be a swing trader? My husband is more of the day trader, I'm
Yeah.
more of the swing trader,
Yeah.
right? And so, but we balance each other out, which is really good. When you were talking about tracking, when you track and do your journaling, this is going to help you improve. So it's important that you are doing your journaling every single
Yep.
night. Don't miss that. It only takes 5 minutes or less, right? If you have not gotten your Married to the Market journal, go grab that. Fill that out daily. It's 100 days, and it's going to show you over the 100 days where you need to improve on, what you really need to work on, what you're really good at, right? Not all the time is it bad, but you need to say, I'm really good at this. Maybe I'm better at swing trading versus day trading.
trading.
Maybe day trading is too much because I'm working and maybe I just need to put my trades in and let it run,
Yeah.
right? So those are aspects that you need to improve on to become that profitable trader that you're trying to be.
And then you building on confidence and becoming consistent.
Yeah.
Because once you do that, you start building the confidence enough to execute your trades, to trust in yourself, and that's going to build consistency over time. The key is consistency more than anything else,
Anyway.
right? The key is not, oh, let me get home run, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, you get that home run trade, you feel excited, but when you look at the end of the week, you made 4 grand in a trade, but you lost 3,800 on the rest of the trade. So you only profitable 200 out of the week. Or you might end up losing out of the week because you're going for those big wins instead of taking consistent wins, the small ones that end up making your P&L look amazing at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year. But one thing is you have to watch your trades. You have to journal. You have to track. So if you see something to where, hey, you know what, most of my trades, they all hit 20%, they all hit 10%, then that could be a signal to be like, you know what, let me go ahead and be consistent in my trades by taking 10% or by taking 20%.
Challenge
And let,
yourself. I would give them that as a challenge. If you haven't hit the 100 percenters, it's okay. So I'm challenging you. Look back at your journal. Be consistent for 30 days. So you know what? For the next 30 days, I'm going to take 10 or 20%, whichever your number is, and see what happens at the end of that 30 days. So for the month of December, tell yourself, even if, just say, you know what? For the next 30 days, I am going to take this percentage and see what your account does over time. A lot of the times you want it to go to target and it may not go to target. Remember, you got theta. You want to go ahead and just capture something. Even 10%, even if you double your account in a month, That's strong.
Yeah. But the thing is, a lot of times people are looking for the TPs all the time. And you have to remember in options trading, we do options trading a
Yeah.
lot. With options trading, it's different from Forex or anything like that. So you're talking about data is working against you. But imagine that you're compounding over a month, what that would look like versus you win here, you lose here. But when you track your trades, all of them were profitable at some, but you
Hmm.
didn't take profit. So now instead of not taking profit when you should, what if you took profit and just be like, all right, I'm done for the day? What would your P&L look like over a month versus what
Yep.
you've been doing for the last 2 years? Just try it and see what will happen.
Yeah. So once you start trusting yourself, you're going to stop trading scared, guys. So it's all about a trust factor. Overall, that's what the concept of trading is trusting yourself, believing in yourself, stop hesitating, right? Just like if you're trading in the zone. If you see that setup, take it every single time,
And
right? With the same amount.
there's a lot of times where people will be on the live with me and they'll be like, "What's the stop loss with?" Like when do we get out of trade? I said it didn't hit my stop loss.
Yeah.
I'm trusting the process. Like even last week, right? Last week we got into an Apple trade, saw the
Hmm.
break on the weekly. It was a swing trade. I said this might pull back, which it did. It did pull back, right? And people got scared. Yeah, you was down 40% or 50% on the trade, but guess what? The next day it ran up,
Yep.
right? So you have to trust the process. If it didn't hit your stop loss, why are you getting out of the trade? The reason why people get so crazy about their trades is because they're either over leveraging or
Yep.
they don't have enough
Enough
time on their
time.
contract.
That's a
And if
big,
you have enough time on your contract, contracts are going to look stupid because of the drawdown. But you have to trust the process and you have to trust your trade and you have to trust yourself.
yeah. And really, that's what it comes down to, guys. If you guys are interested in just coming along on this journey with us, we would love to hold your hand throughout this process. We
Mhm.
have a 6 week mentorship. We do 6 months, we even do a year because everybody's learning style is different. We're all about not giving you a fish, but teaching you how to fish. We want to be your teacher, your mentor, but you got to be able to put in the work. At the end of the day, we do not want anyone that's coming in that's lazy and just wants everything handed. When you come in here, you're going to work. So if you are interested, click the link in the description, fill out that form. We are getting into the holiday season. So we may not be having any right now, but you can definitely set yourself up by getting on the waiting list. When the new year does come and we are ready to run, you're ready just as well. We're having a new mindset when it comes to the new year. So get ready. Thank you guys for always liking, commenting, sharing. And don't forget to come into the Discord. Say hello. We have lots of resources available. George and I is all about community, right? And we want to be able to be of service. So we do create guides. Just click on it, download it. We give you emails that come out. We have podcasts. We're constantly giving, giving, giving. And that's what it's all about. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the mentorship, it is a paid mentorship. And if you want your hand held throughout that process, we're going to be here to guide you through that. So we'll see you guys on the next podcast.
All right, guys.
Bye.